self-sufficiency. Literally, you have to look at the world like a pit bull, right? And you really have to adapt these masculine views and traits, almost competitive to every woman.
Absolutely.
Okay? To the white race, right, as a whole,
Absolutely.
and to a man. You have to. That's the only way you're going to survive. And then what happens is, as you mature and you're blooming as a woman, those natural delicacies that we all have, like compassion, that nurturing spirit, these things that make a woman, start to conflict, right, with what the people that you admire the most told you that you had to be successful. It starts to conflict with what society is telling you through the media, what you have to be successful. It conflicts with the little Kims. It conflicts with, and that's nothing against these individuals. I'm more so talking about what they represent, because a lot of times the people with the voice are victim to what the masses are going through at the same time. They just got a voice, and so it's just a circle. It's the same stuff going around, the same ideas. And so then you get to a point where it's like, okay, you have to make a choice. You're either going to do the hard thing, which is try to figure out what you have not been taught, and that's how to infuse your femininity into this masculine thing that you've been taught that you need to do to survive. Or you shut that part of you off and you say, this is what I've been taught, this is all I know, and I have to hate that part of myself to survive as this masculine being. And that's that chip on the shoulder. And that's why they're angry. And that's why you get a 10-year-old girl, when you talk to them and you see them, and you say, oh, so you have any guys in your class that you like, and their whole face frowned up. Not the icky boy thing. No, it's not that. It's the, man, please, I'm better than a man. A man is the furthest from my mind, and they look at me with these innocent eyes, and the only thing that they want from me is approval and acceptance. And they feel like the way to connect with me as a mini role model is to rebel and hate and propel men. And that is sad.
Absolutely. I wanted to piggyback off of what Everline said about the whole welfare thing, and then I want to get to what you said, Dominique. It started, like, Dominique, you talked about being an 80s baby, and, really it's that welfare culture which gave birth to this whole independent thing, because, like, Everline was saying, is that when you have a situation where the only way you can survive and subsist is by eliminating the man in your house, and you willingly deny this man, you deny him, his presence symbolically, like saying, I'm going to lie, to the people, you're not here.
Right.
But when you eliminate him symbolically, you also eliminate physically. And that is exactly what has happened. And not only that, he has been eliminated, on an emotional level, because we have, at least the second generation of men of color who are not mentally equipped to be head of a household, because they don't even know what it looks like. And so, so now, you've got the whole thing where, Dominique, you grew up in a world where not only is it okay for a woman to, deny her feminine vulnerability, but it's considered a hallmark of success. It's like, oh, the harder you are, this and that, the more successful you're seen as, and you're seen as just. It is true. You get to a point, like I know it myself, like I keep saying, I was raised to be a single woman. I was raised by a single woman, and, I was taught to be single. And I know being a wife, it's a struggle. It's like, wow, I have to retrain myself to love. It's just like, wait, hold up. I've got to rediscover my femininity.
Let me get that missing chip. Let me plug it back in.
Can I dive in real quick? I'm going to try to, because I know we're running short on time, so I wanted to try to, there's a couple of things that y'all just touched on that sparked some thoughts from me. One of the things that I also realized is, when you think of the whole women's lib movement and how that kind of sailed in on the coattails of what was called, the civil rights movement and stuff like that. and that became, I think the culture that was that I think really started that whole independent woman thing. And the reason that I say that is because right now, or for quite some time, you should say, is the standard for a woman would be a white woman, and you see it pervade through media and so forth and so on. So as they started, with that whole independent, of because their battle was to rebel against their men who were oppressing them. Our battle was about getting the oppressor off of our backs and stuff. We still had remnants of that family culture, and it was still, about us because we had this bigger, monster to fight, so to speak. But then once that came in, and then from the 60s into the 70s, then you had the welfare state and how that continued the trend. Then on into the 80s and so forth and so on, where the gunplay and drugs and violence, help further take the man out the picture and so forth and so on. This is where you have, the side effects of those are the symptoms become. Now you have a lot of women who, we have to be real about it too, and a little balance that it's not just that a lot of women don't have a reason to be angry, because you have a lot of men. You have a lot of men who've given them a lot of reason to be angry. Yeah, there was some of us who fell victim to certain things, but then there was some of us who opted out.
But can I say, I'm sorry, Michael, can I just interrupt you for a second? We are running out of time, but can I just say this, and I know some women are going to get angry with me, but, yes, we do have a right to be angry, but a lot of our issues now with men, and I'm not talking about the father issues because we can't control who we were born to, but as far as the men that we pick to father our children, we don't know how to pick them.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, I definitely agree. I would definitely say that
so
is the truth.
That's something that you bring on yourself.
Wait. Before we say that's something you bring on yourself, remember we were talking in the other shows about learned behavior. So if you don't have an image around you of what a strong black man is and what a man is, you're going to go with what you know. And again, you go to that whole cycle. So when you look at all of the things, if there were men who had the ability to hold it down and hold their own and didn't choose to opt out or whatever the case, we're not saying that all men did that, because you did have some men who did stick around and try to so forth and so on. But without you got to remember, once that whole process, and again, we have to look at it as a process. That's why in the last show I recommended that book, Brainwash, because it really digs into this whole thing that we're talking about. And it actually touches on what we're talking about today, too. And that book is called, again, Brainwash by Tom Burrell. But once you look at that whole cycle that went through, then you understand the choices that are made. So if you remember that movie, The Matrix, and in The Matrix, which, by the way, was done by a sister, and she was robbed by the Wachowski brothers. But,
right. But look, she's getting her payday now, I heard.
Yeah, right. But when you look, there was a part in there where they were talking to the Oracle, and she said, people cannot make choices outside of their ability to understand. And when she said that, I was like, whoa, that is
true that.
Deep. That is so deep, because if our understanding is on a surface level, or if our understanding has been warped, then our choices are going to be warped.
Right.
So
you know what?
You got to always look at cause and effect in this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. We've got about 60 seconds. Can we have our panelists weigh in with 20 seconds of a last thought? Yeah, you guys are wasting valuable seconds. Tawana?
Hey, I was just enjoying the conversation. I kind of think my last comment was we just need to redefine the term of strong black woman.
Okay. Everlene?
I would probably say to build self-esteem and not rely on media too much.
Okay. Arthur?
I would also say don't rely on the media. Learn for yourself and define yourself. Don't let nobody define strong black women but yourself.
Okay. Wow. Well, you know what? We're going to close out with the whole strong black woman theme. We will revisit it at another time. I just have to say, look at the label. Read the label. Don't put it on yourself unless you read the ingredients and decide, you know what, is this something that I put in? So anyway, food for thought. Dominique, I want to thank you so much for your valuable contribution as always. And everyone, you have a wonderful evening, morning, wherever you are on the globe. Love you all.
Indeed. Love you too, girl.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
The content of Inspirit Radio, owned and operated by Inspirit Communications, is intended for general information purposes only. It is not designed to provide listeners with specific and personal medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. Programs are not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individuals with health problems should always consult their healthcare provider for professional medical advice, medications, or treatment. Inspirit Communications does not promote anyone's individual practice, programs, agendas, particular treatments, healthcare programs, providers, hospitals, or medical centers. The views expressed by show hosts and guests are their own and shall not be construed in any way as advice from Inspirit Communications. We make no recommendations or endorsement for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or website. Personal perspectives expressed will always be presented as such. We encourage you to seek professional advice or care for any problem which you may have. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Inspirit Communications or the show host whose words and or opinions appear on the show or website.